Hello and welcome to Smitty's. I am a wood cutting fanatic who loves to run a chainsaw. I run alcohol chainsaws, ported chainsaws, I race chainsaws, and I even run the occasional vintage. Now remember, I cannot do this without you. You're everything to the channel, so please remember, subscribe, give that thumbs up, leave that comment. Today, we are going to have a lot of fun. So, how you doing? So I'm having some firewood problems. These are firewood problems I knew I was going to have, but I figured I'd kind of go over some of this stuff with you. And I had to, have to come up with a plan to solve my problems. And that's kind of what this video is about. So basically, when we moved here, we didn't have enough time to put a large supply of firewood in place and get it properly seasoned. So you can see here, if you guys have seen previous videos, you can see we're taking a chunk of firewood out already. And we've only been burning wood for a couple of weeks now. So we are burning through it. Hey, how do you like the ugly green? But anyway, she was a round stack. We figured it up to, I think, about 3 cord. And, it is what it is. But if you look at this stack from, like, over here, you can see a color change. This stuff on the bottom was cut and split before the grass started growing. The stuff above it was cut and split, I'd say August. We cut it at the end of July, and then I had it split by the end of August. And you can tell the seasoning difference between the two layers. Now, it was all cut down. All the trees were dropped at roughly the same time. But the stuff on the bottom has been seasoning longer in split form. And it burns way better than the stuff above it. But none of it is burning as well as it should be, because none of it is properly seasoned. We're only looking at a couple of months on the top half, a couple of more months on the bottom half, and it is all oak. Oak takes a long time to properly season, every bit of a year. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, your oak, so when you're burning your oak, it will hiss at you. You'll hear like steam, the moisture of it coming out. And, it's a good indicator that you're not properly seasoned. But another sign I have is it's hard to get it going. Well, I shouldn't say it's hard, but it's not as easy as it should be. Now, this wood down here is all the same. This is the stuff that's been split since August, which is not properly seasoned. Now, I really should have had this done the prior year in order to burn it this year. That way it would have been a proper seasoned, you know what I mean? And I'm running into an issue because it's not. So coming up here in the future, basically what I got to do is I got to stockpile my wood and make sure I have enough properly seasoned wood to get the job done. Now, another thing I got to think about here, this pile of logs we got here, if I can get this cut and split here relatively soon, it will be seasoned much better than the stuff I have there, but this won't be ready until next season. So I need to get on this and get it done, but a lot of this is soft wood. And I need to get that soft wood off of there. These logs were all given to me, so I want to get the soft wood out of there and keep my species kind of separate. You know what I mean? Some of it is poplar. A good chunk of it is poplar. Just from a quick glance here, pretty much most everything you see sitting on top there is poplar. The oak is back here in the corner on the bottom. And I have a pile of oak logs sitting right over yonder here at this house. He's going to be bringing up that is probably another third of this pile. Now, when he comes up, he said he'll go through with his mini and pick through this and help me get this plucked apart. So basically, whenever he gets up here and does that, we're basically going to create 2 log piles. One of them is going to be the softwoods. The other one is going to be the hardwoods. In fact, I'd like to move all the softwoods back yonder at the shed where I do all my test cuts. Then I'll do all my milling and, saw testing and stuff over there. And then I'll just keep the oak logs here. That's the plan. But here's the thing. I need even more wood than that. That will not be enough for next season, probably. I am expecting to have, let me think here. I normally start burning in October. We didn't start burning until, I think we were into the early part of December when we started actually burning. So we got the wood stove up and running. So I should already be on this pile, and I'm not. So hopefully I don't get through the whole pile of wood. Hopefully half of it's still here by the end of the season, but we'll see. Now this pile here should have seasoned a little bit better. This area gets a little bit better sun, and hopefully, it ends up burning better. But in the future, I'm hoping, once all this oak's done with, I'm hoping to actually start getting my logs in, but I'm hoping to actually start ordering locusts. So hopefully, by the time we have our next event, I will have this all cleaned up and a pile of locust logs sprawled out here that we can work on. And the locust logs, I actually plan on, if you look up here, see the chicken coop? There's a field there, and I plan on creating like a fence line that comes the whole way down with firewood that's made out of locusts. The nice thing about locusts is I can stack that directly on the ground without much to worry about. Locust it's as good as any treated lumber, And so you don't have to worry about so much about the direct contact to the ground. And I'm thinking I'm going to make like a fence line there with the locust firewood. That's the plan, at least. That's the way I'm hoping this works out. So basically, I would have the oak down here and locusts up there, and I'll be able to pick and choose which wood I work from. Now, the nice thing about locusts is it doesn't require the seasoning like oak does. Oak, you typically want a minimum of 12 months, preferably more. You're better off if you can go 2 years. And I just didn't have the time after I moved in here to get it all stockpiled. So that's kind of what we got to do here, is to make sure we cut and split enough wood to create a stockpile. That way I can get enough seasoning out of my wood, from here to here. So yeah, we got a bit of work to do. Now eventually I do hope to put in a outdoor boiler, which is going to create a situation where I can eliminate the wood burner inside, but that is in my 10-year plan. I hope to have the outdoor boiler in the next 10 years, not next year, 10. Estimated cost to install it is sitting between 15 and 20,000. So it's a hefty cost that I got to save up for. And it would be sitting right here where this pile brush and stuff is. I'm going to wipe that all out, put a little pad in, one of those metal carports. I'm thinking put the wood burner in like one of those metal carports and stuff, and you go that way. So that's the plan. And you can see here I'm working on the house some more. That was a big porch. I'm closing that all off and turning it into an additional room to the house. We have dogs, and we're basically going to create a living space just for dogs, and that's what that's about. But yeah, I'm doing more work to the house, as you can see. This, I'm just kind of tinkering at this a little here and there. I put up that sidewall today, around the corner. So, you know, just a little bit at a time. I got a lot of chores though, a lot of chores to do. Now, one thing to consider here, I got locust trees sprawled the whole way out along the property line here that I could be dropping and adding to the firewood pile. But that's a chore that I don't plan on getting to anytime soon. But you never know. My friend could show up with this tractor one day and we'd be like, you know, let's drop a tree. And we could do it, you know? You never know. You never know what we might get into. Now, we're walking over here behind the shed. This is where I do all my testing. So this is the area where I do all my saw testing. As you see, I got a couple of logs sitting here for future testing. Got a couple of them sitting over there. But all those softwoods logs that I had down there, I plan on adding to this. And, you know, having it for cookie cutting, saw testing, so forth. But I think a majority of it is probably going to be saved because at the end of July, we're going to have another event. So, you know, save those logs so we can come out here and play with saws. I think that's probably what I'm going to do. I got a couple of logs up yonder here to drag out of the woods. You know, you can see we got a bit of work to do here. I mean, the amount of work here is endless. I got chores to do every single day. Never ending. Heck, we even got work to do to the building here. You see this here? Along here? I got to clean this all up. We're going to put a window here. Let me get my finger right. We're going to put a window right about there. Down about here is going to be another window. And about in the middle, we're going to put in a door. And that way we can come out this side of the building and straight in to the test area. The camper's just sitting there for the winter. I'll move it come spring. It's just sitting there for the winter. Just somewhere to park it, you know, get it out of the way. I got a bunch of stuff here to clean up. What you're seeing here is junk that I've collected throughout the years, and slowly I've been picking at it and getting rid of stuff. So that's what this fire was partially about. That fire was huge. That was stuff that's been laying around that I burned up. And, you know, it wasn't just cookies. It was all sorts of stuff. I had that fire going. I had my burn barrel over there roaring. I had the whole bottom half of that burn barrel glowing red yesterday. I had so much stuff burning through it. Now, those firewood now these firewood logs that I just got, the tree service company, you know, he brought up all these wood chips. I told him to bring them up. So they're just oak wood chips, but I'm going to be loading them up and using them around the house. I got 2.5 loads here, and there's 3 loads sitting over there. This is the oak wood chips. That down there is mostly poplar. I'm probably going to go with the oak first. Everything around the house, it's got like gravel that is really old. Just kind of been sitting there forever, and it's all ugly. So I'm thinking, you know, if I put a nice 6-8 inches of wood chips over top everything with some of that fabric underneath it, I think in the end it'll come out pretty good. But that's why I got all the wood chips there, and you know, it'll turn into nice mulch eventually, and we'll be able to use that elsewhere. I'll have mulch for days, you know. It might take a few years, but hey, I got a nice huge mulch pile that I'm working on that I'll be able to use down in, you know, in the future. But if you think about it, there's 3 6.5 loads of mulch. You know, those guys took down some trees. The logs that I got sitting here is only a small fraction. He mulched up everything he could get to go through his mulcher, and I just got what he couldn't get. So, you know, he ended up mulching up a lot of stuff that I normally would have burnt, but I wasn't too worried about getting every single log. I mean, those guys had a job to do, so I didn't get in the way. I just let them do their thing, and I took what logs they couldn't deal with. And, you know, kind of helped each of us out. And that's got me some firewood and helped them out at the same time, you know what I mean? And that same neighbor is the one with the Mini who's going to come up and pick through this stuff. So, you know, just doing each other favors. Now, you guys that were here for the event, up here is where we took the trees down. You see there's one leaning there and another one. I still haven't cleaned them up. And I got a log that starts about here. It runs probably 50, 75 feet all the way down there. I bet you it's 20, 24 inches at the base. And I'm hoping to mill that whole thing up into lumber. See, I have a plan here for the building. Once we get this building done, get all the walls done, insulated, I'm hoping to have enough lumber milled up that I can do all my trim work in the house, but I can also go through the entire building and do like a vertical board the whole way through the building, the whole way around, ceiling and all. It should come out looking really nice, and all with lumber that I milled myself. You know what I mean? That's the plan. Probably gonna take a couple of years to get everything done, but it's stuff that I can work on, you know, in the future. So, yeah. Hey, I think we'll leave you guys at this one, and hey, we'll catch you on the next one. Later.